Hello and welcome back to No Bullshit. Today we're taking a look at a video from the BBC about a phenomenon they made up called digital blackface. Let's check it out.
Ever shared this? Or this? Nothing like a good reaction gif, right? But you've probably noticed the most popular ones are of black people being dramatic. This is digital blackface.
Well, I don't know how black people are in London, but blacks in America are pretty dramatic. No offense, but that's just the way it is sometimes. We're not making this shit up. No one's forcing black people in those videos to be overly dramatic. They're doing it themselves. In all their respective TV shows and movies they're being quoted from. Don't try and frame this up like other people are using these GIFs to make black people seem overly dramatic. They're making themselves seem that way. And the GIFs that get posted prove to be good laughs once in a while. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Blackface is when a non-black person uses makeup to blacken up. Minstrel shows depicted black people in all sorts of negative ways. They were mocking, demeaning stereotypes, and they exaggerated black people's facial features and their expressions.
Nice black and white video footage you got there, lady. Got any examples from this century, though? I don't think so. Here's a tip. If your evidence or support is so old you've only got black and white footage of it, it might not be very fucking relevant. Unless you're in a history class, I guess. To me, this is pretty much the equivalent to people who use black and white pics of slavery and lynchings to draw on your emotions and make points about modern society. The Young Turks do this shit all the time, and I guess now the BBC wants to get in on that action. Now let's see how this smug bitch relates blackface from 80 years ago to today. This should be good.
And digital blackface is the 21st century version of that. White people using GIFs to perform some kind of exaggerated blackness.
White people don't use GIFs to perform exaggerated blackness. That's not how this shit works, and I'm not gonna let you set things up that way either. When people use a GIF online, it's just used as a little joke like 99% of the time. You'll say something funny like, "Wow, Carl, that joke was so cheesy," when your friend says something dumb. And then maybe you put a little James Vanderbeek GIF there, the one where he's slow clapping. Using this GIF is just a reference, for a laugh. It's a quote maybe, but it's definitely not you performing it.
And that's not all. Let's talk about white people using dark-skinned emojis. This is a form of cultural appropriation, paying little respect to someone else's culture and using it however you please.
Ah, the old cultural appropriation meme, which basically amounts to minorities being tribalistic and covetous of their precious cultural contributions, which the only examples in this video are these silly Indian headdresses and gross black dreadlocks. You know, the hairstyle where you literally don't wash your head. You put wax and oil in your hair and let it get all crusty and stinky all day. That's some great culture you're bringing to the table, black people. Very impressive. I mean, I don't want to be offensive, but this BBC chick started this. She's black and apparently is very upset when white people appropriate their hairstyles. And now that you brought this up, lady, I don't think you're gonna like what you've uncovered, because it looks to me like the only two things black people are bringing to the table in America and Western society are hairstyles and rap music. Not very impressive if you ask me. The hairstyles are gross and the music is decent at best. And on top of that, some of the best rappers, some of my favorites, aren't even black. Eminem is pretty much the greatest alive right now, and he's a white boy from Detroit, 8 Mile. And the Beastie Boys, 3 Jews, they're gonna go down as one of the best rap groups ever. So I'm sad to say, even your best category black people, it's dominated by the whites. It's kind of sad. And I'm not trying to pit us against each other or anything, I'm just going along with BBC here. What I'm trying to say is, when you look into things, black culture really isn't all that relevant, especially when you consider the white supremacy in the world's culture. Wait a second, I probably shouldn't say it like that, but whatever. I'll make this quick then. Here's some big examples of white culture that beats dreadlocks by a mile. White culture is things like democracy, freedom, the United States of America, the movie and television industry, and the internet, just to name a few. Why don't you clap back at that in the comments and get back to me.
So what's wrong with white people posting these GIFs and using these emojis? Well, black people are not here for other people's entertainment.
Perhaps, but all the pics, GIFs, and videos you've shown today were created for others' entertainment. No one's posting random clips of people in their private lives. These are all celebrities and actors performing for cameras, for entertainment. And that's what's getting shared all over the internet, you dummy. Videos made for entertainment, shared for entertainment. And you're trying to deny that? This black bird from Britain wants to get all serious and tell us we can't laugh at fucking Kevin Hart, one of the funniest motherfuckers of all time? Get the fuck out of here.
We're not symbols symbols of excessive emotion, and we aren't here to make you look more sassy, more sexy, or more street.
Well, I wasn't certain before, but now it's pretty clear this girl thinks she speaks for all black people. And I'm gonna go ahead and guess many blacks wouldn't have elected her to do that. And they certainly wouldn't agree with this uptight bitch and what she's saying here. I mean, most of the time I see these black gifs on the internet, black people are the ones posting them themselves.
We don't want to be seen as having two-dimensional personalities. Let us decide for ourselves how we wish to be perceived.
Well, then I would work on developing a personality. If you're interesting and have good stuff going on in your life, you don't have to worry about people sharing black gifs on the internet. You won't be thinking, oh, I don't want to look stereotypical because of this gif with Michael Jackson. If you have an interesting life, people will know you're not two-dimensional regardless. But apparently this girl in the BBC video, she still looks two-dimensional. I mean, that's why she's here making this video playing thought police, telling people what fucking gifs they can use. Fucking pathetic. This video is a spawn of this woman's insecurities. She feels like a stereotype in England, obviously. Probably because she largely is. She seems boring, vapid, and petty as hell. And I think she has some self-awareness of it. She feels bad and wants to do better, and I guess her trying to tear down GIFs is her way of doing it. Her way of trying to stop people from thinking she's two-dimensional. So instead of just going out and making an interesting life for herself, she's decided to be a whiny little complainer who has to tell people over and over that she's interesting and not two-dimensional, when she really is a boring, vapid fuck. And that's why she made this lame-ass video. If she had anything interesting to say, she would have made something cooler. Clearly, she has nothing better to talk about.
Now, I'm not saying you have to be black to post these gifs, but what I am saying is think about what you're doing. Ask yourself why you're always drawn to that gif or that emoji.
I think people are drawn to a lot of black GIFs and emojis because they're funny and entertaining. They make us laugh. Black people are very emotional and expressive performers, and they're also great singers and dancers, amongst other things, of course. I know there's great black dentists, doctors, and lawyers out there too, but for this video, in this situation, we're talking about the entertainment value, and it's obvious that black people make people laugh, and this is the reason black GIFs get around on the internet so much, and that's okay. That's not offensive. That's a compliment. People like your work, black people. Black people are entertaining. That's just the way it is. It shouldn't be offensive or racist. Just accept it as a fact of life. Let me put it this way. If we were going on a Facebook page that only talks about hockey players, what race and nationality do you think would come up most often? Probably white people from Canada or maybe Russia. Those are the places with the best hockey players, so they're the people who would come up the most often on a hockey Facebook page. And that's not offensive or racist or excluding other people. It's not cultural appropriation when people post pics of Canadians there or videos of them scoring goals. That's just the type of people you talk about when you talk about hockey. If we collected ballerina playing cards, they would be mostly Russian too. If you like anime DVDs and collected them, they'd be mostly Japanese. So are some categories dominated by one race? Yeah. Does that make it offensive and cultural appropriation when others talk about them and quote them? No. No way. So when black people GIFs are popping up on Twitter or Instagram slightly more than others, don't take that as racist, offensive, or stereotypical. Don't be like this insecure BBC lady. Black people should be taking this as a compliment. People like your work, your performances, your songs, your jokes. They're resonating out there. There's no need to be tribalistic and covetous of your work, or in this case, the BBC lady is being covetous of other people's work which she really has no right to defend or speak for. But she does anyway because apparently she speaks for all black people, so I guess she takes credit for all their work too. Since they have the same skin color, she can be covetous of other people's work. Fucking ridiculous.
So that's my view. But what do you think?
Here's what I think, lady. I think you're a dumb, petty bitch who's wearing a wig that came from India, which is, ironically, what? Yep, cultural appropriation. You guessed it. Let's go ahead and give this girl a B+ in this course on black hypocrisy and move on with our lives. What do you say, guys? Rather than trying to tell people I'm not two-dimensional like she's doing, I'm gonna go ahead and go out and be three-dimensional myself, in the 3D world. What do you guys think? Is digital blackface a thing? Is using black GIFs and emojis offensive? And is the BBC gonna become the next BuzzFeed? Looks like they're on their way. Comment your thoughts below, and thanks for watching No Bullshit. See y'all next time. Special thanks to my top tier Patreon supporters this month, Reed, Lenny, and Daddy Donald. Thanks so much, guys. This also brings up our next goal, which, when reached, will reward you guys with a feature-length No Bullshit movie. I will announce the topic once we get a little closer. We're only a few hundred supporters away from there, guys, so please consider throwing a couple dollars in at patreon.com/nobullshit. The movie is gonna be dope as fuck, so you won't regret it. Thanks again for watching. See y'all next time.
I let it go back to when we played as kids, but then change. That's the way it is. Come on.
That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same.
One more thing, I want to give a special thanks to these amazing Patreon supporters. You guys are the best. You guys went above and beyond the rest, and I love you so much for it. If anyone else wants to donate or join our Patreon crew, link in the description. Thanks again.